Men, you don't need motivation, but here's all the motivation you need. As Christian men, we are called to surrender our lives to Jesus. To surrender to Jesus means to give in, not to give up. We are called to use our strengths, abilities, and opportunities to grow and prosper. We are called to strengthen ourselves, our families, and our communities. We are called to be disciplined, courageous, and honorable. This is Surrendered Strength. Men, welcome back to another episode of the Surrendered Strength podcast. I'm your host, Dion Lansing. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm glad to have you. We need more strong men, more strong disciples, and this is what the Surrendered Strength podcast, the Surrendered Strength ministry is focused on doing, building up strong disciples. So we are doing this within our brotherhood, the Strong Disciples, which you can find out more about on Instagram, surrender.strength. And you just send me a message. You can click the link that is there. But then, whether you're in our brotherhood or another brotherhood, you need to be in a brotherhood. You need to be connected with other strong Christian brothers to be built up. Otherwise, this world will tear you down and it will tear you to pieces. So be in a brotherhood. I have to encourage that strongly. And again, if it's not the Strong Disciples Brotherhood, that's fine. Be in a brotherhood, be connected with other strong Christian men. Now, I want to encourage you to do all the fun things of liking, subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review and a comment just to help us get this message out to more Christian men who are struggling in isolation. So, with that being said, let's dive into today's topic. And today's topic is motivation. And I was having a conversation with another brother in our group, in the Strong Disciples Brotherhood, and he started talking about how he was lacking motivation. And being down the path that I've gone and seeing the things that I've seen in my own life and others' lives, what I've come to realize is that motivation isn't what we need. If we are struggling with motivation, or if we are needing motivation to do the little things that we should be doing on a consistent basis, then we are living our lives not by faith, but out of fear, out of emotions, and this is not how we're called to live as Christian men. So I want to encourage you first and foremost that if you're living out of motivation or the need for motivation, then there's three things that I need you to consider. Because the people that need motivation are either uninspired, meaning they don't understand their purpose or calling in life. They are simply undisciplined, or they're just plain selfish. So hear me out on this. The man who is uninspired, meaning he doesn't understand his purpose or calling, is the one that's going to need motivation, because he doesn't understand why he is doing why he needs to be doing the little things that he should be doing every single day. Taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, taking care of your spirit, taking care of your wife and your kids, and leading in all of those areas. Not letting other people try and lead you or lead your family in this. We are called to imitate Christ, and we are called to be the example. So the person that needs motivation doesn't understand that you've been called. As a Christian man, you've been called to lead and to serve and to imitate Christ, and to love your wife, love yourself, love your kids as Christ has loved the church. And he gave us one command: love God, love others as ourselves. We can't love others if we're not loving ourselves. So, men, do you understand God's purpose, God's calling for your life? Don't overcomplicate it. A lot of people want to overcomplicate it and think that their purpose or the calling is a specific job. And the reality is, a purpose and calling is bigger than a job. A purpose and calling is how we actually do our job and what that actually looks like. And as Christians, we're imitating Christ. And what did Christ do? If we want to know our purpose and calling as we imitate Christ, we need to look at what Christ did. And what did he do? He made the Father known. So our purpose and calling is to make God known, make the Father known to as many people as possible, to love them, to care for them, and make God known. This is how we imitate Christ. We share God. We share the gospel with others. And once you understand that this is your purpose, this is your calling, to share the gospel, to honor and glorify God, you can start implementing this in your everyday life. You can implement this in the way you take care of your body, the way you work out, the things you eat, fasting, the way you, or what you listen to, what you watch, the way you communicate with other people, the way you communicate with your wife and your kids, the way you communicate with yourself even. And again, knowing that the will of God is to make God known and allow God to do what he's going to do, give everyone the opportunity to know God, and then let God do what he's going to do. This is our purpose. And in that, we can honor and glorify God because of the things that he's done in our lives. So once you understand that, you shouldn't need motivation. Now, if you still need motivation, chances are you're simply undisciplined in your purpose and your calling. And this happens, especially when we have new believers that they're still learning. Paul talks about being infants in our faith, and I've been there. I've been the uninspired man. I've been the undisciplined man, and I've been the third man that I'm going to talk about here in just a little bit. But we need to discipline ourselves in our faith and in our purpose and our calling. And at the beginning, yeah, you're going to need motivation to get you through. But the more disciplined we can be, and the more we can be around other Christian men in a brotherhood, being built up by others, and seeing what that looks like, and doing what they're doing, imitating Christ, imitating other Christian men who are building others up, building us up. We can in turn use what they have done to build us up to build up others. And in this, we create a discipline within ourselves. So then you are no longer uninspired, you're no longer undisciplined, and you should no longer need motivation because what you are doing is so much bigger than yourself. It's bigger than simply serving yourself. And this leads us into that third person, or the third reason why you would need motivation. And that's just you're being selfish. You're not focused on your purpose. You're not focused on your calling. And you're undisciplined in a way that you are not caring about anybody else. And when we are selfish, when we're living selfishly, when we're not caring about other people, then we're going to need motivation, because our why, we've lost focus on our why, that purpose and our calling. So we start to focus everything inwardly, and we start to just lose any sense of purpose, any sense of reason, and we get distracted. Now the reality is that we can be selfish and disciplined. So we have to be careful there also. That's when we are so focused on the world that we've completely lost sight of God. And again, when we're in a brotherhood, when we are connected with other men who are willing to point out the fact that, hey, you've lost sight. You've started to focus on the world, and you're not focusing and living in a way that honors and glorifies God. You've lost sight of your purpose and your calling. We need strong Christian brothers to pull us back, help keep us on the straight and narrow path, along with the Holy Spirit, Jesus, and God. We need all of this to help us, because again, this world will tear us down and tear us apart. So men, if you are struggling with motivation, consider those three things. Are you uninspired? Are you living for a higher purpose or a calling that God has given to you? Are you undisciplined in that purpose and calling? You may know it, but you're just undisciplined, and you need to be built up. Or are you living selfishly? And the reality is, once you understand your purpose, you're either going to be undisciplined or you're going to be living selfishly. And I speak of these not to throw stones, because I waver sometimes, unfortunately. I find myself starting to lose focus and to become undisciplined, starting to lose focus and become selfish and living for myself instead of imitating Christ and my calling. So again, think about that. Figure out where you are. Are you undisciplined? Are you uninspired, undisciplined, or selfish? Why is it that you need motivation? And once you understand that, you will be able to overcome the need for motivation, the need for feeling good just to do the little things. So, man, I hope this encourages you. I hope you can take this and apply it to your life. And if you have questions, again, you can reach out to me on Instagram, surrender.strength, Nyland Lansing, and let's have a conversation. Let's get you moving in and living in a way that honors and glorifies God. So, man, God bless. Keep going in your purpose and your calling to imitate Christ and to honor and glorify God. Thanks for listening. Connect with me on Instagram and Facebook at Surrendered Strength. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and live the Surrendered Strength code: discipline, courage, honor.